Life throws you punches. Trauma, life, and burnout. I've lived through it all, and I've built something for the fighters that refuse to stay down. If you're ready to stop playing small and own your story, then this is where you belong. The Unstoppable Network is where the overcoming stories are getting very loud. From veterans to survivors to trailblazers, sharing their story of turning their pain into power. Welcome to the Unstoppable Network, where we turn your mess into a message.
All right. Thank you for coming back. I'm Dorothy Odell. I'm the host of the Unstoppable Network. If this is your first time, welcome. We are truly here to help others share their message, get their mess and turn their mess into a message. And so like I said, if this is your first time, welcome. If you can, go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, share with all your friends, because this network and this channel truly helps people to go from survival mode to thriving. And we're just so excited that you're here. And today is no exception. Our amazing guest, Wendy Corner, is here. Welcome to the show. Wendy, how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing brilliantly, thank you. And thank you very much for inviting me. I'm really chuffed. Thank you.
Absolutely. So Wendy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, you'll gather from the accent that I'm not from North America. Originally from the UK and migrated to Australia 12 years ago. And then last year I started off on a bit of an adventure. I can go more into that at another time, but I'm now literally running around the world, going around the world with 20 kilos of luggage. That's 44 pounds for the North Americans. That is all I have. I don't have a home anymore. So This is digital nomad to the extreme. And I'll talk about it later, but this adventure is part of my book writing at the moment. So we'll talk about that later. But yes, that's where I'm at the moment. Digital nomad, work with authors, get them published, get them speaking. That's kind of me in a nutshell now.
Oh, wow. And what made you decide to be a digital nomad?
Good question. My background is in speech pathology. And that was one of the tales of resilience when they sacked me unfairly. I could have taken them to court, but it wouldn't have changed the way they worked. So, we've left that one to one side. Now, the problem with that was it then meant that my career was over. So I'm now no longer a speech pathologist. That label had to go, that hat had to go. And now it was a case of, well, okay, what now? So that's when I decided to work with speakers. That was all my focus. And then I started getting into the writing thing myself. So I've kind of worked backwards. The reason the digital nomad thing came about, as in literally nomadic, was because I felt the call to travel with 20 kilos. Things had not been going too well in the business, and beginning of 24, I did a 72-hour water fast, reset, body, mind, spirit, excuse me, set the intention at the beginning of this to say, I want some clarity. A couple of friends had said to me, why are you still in Perth? You've got no ties there. Why don't you come and live in Malaysia for a bit? Cheaper cost of living, you can still maintain your international clients. What about it? When you get two people totally independently saying the same thing, you kind of go, uh-oh, there's something in this. So after my water fast, I got the clarity, yes, you're going off to Kuala Lumpur in 6 weeks. And you're writing a book about the adventures.
What?
Really?
That's wild.
Oh, it was one of those major shock moments. And I mean, for me, who traditionally has all her little ducks in a row, We can't move on until number 6 duck is still there. Captain, stay. And so this was a big step of faith.
I guess.
Very big step of faith. There's more to the story than that, but that's how it started.
That's truly unstoppable. That's a badass move.
I have to tell you now that my ducks, I couldn't care less where they are. As long as they're around somewhere, I've realized that ducks do not behave themselves. And actually, I can go and find some geese or some other wildfowl birds, and we can have fun that way as well.
Wow, that is truly awesome. It's funny. Before I was married, I had a clue of what I wanted, but not really sure. Now that I'm married, I know exactly what I want, but there's some things that are tying here us in this location at the moment. And my husband hates the cold, and we live in Canada, so he's just like, we just got the cold front this week, and he's already complaining that he can't handle it. I'm like, well, babe, like, we can't pack up everything and leave just yet. He's got a 14-year-old, so I still have a couple of family members here, but truly, I personally have nothing holding me here, well, except for him. But I'm just like, think of this, and in 5-10 years, we could be anywhere. We don't have to be here. Sell our home, get rid of everything. I've learned that things are things, and you don't need to be attached to them. How was that when, because you said you've been traveling with 40 kilos, you don't have a home back home. What was that moment like for you, getting everything into a suitcase and that's all you owned?
Well, let me take you back a few years. The reason that I am traveling solo is because I lost father-in-law, mother-in-law, brother-in-law, and husband in the space of 10 years.
Oh my.
They were all hoarders. So I ended up with 3 houses that what was now, in effect, my house. That was the first purge, because then when I was going off to Australia, I wasn't going to take that lot with me. So I purged from 3 houses down to 30 boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. And I had about 9 months to do it. So then fast forward 10 years of being in Australia. And whilst I was down to the 30 boxes, I hadn't let go of the mental scripts that said, keep hold, keep hold, keep hold. The title of my book is From Hoarder to Hand Luggage, because I said I grew up in a family of hoarders. I married into a family of hoarders. To give you some examples of that, my father-in-law had tax receipts back to 1965.
Oh my.
He died in 2000. So that's the level of hoarding we're talking about. Okay, so there was some fun things to go through. There was literally nobody left in the family to pass anything on to. Mm. So that there was some, and that was when, as you were saying about the stuff thing, that's when the realization came that what's important to me may not be important to anybody else. Mm-hmm. And that was a real sort of shock, because we like to think, oh, well, we'll pass our this, that, and the other on to the next generation. And they go, why?
Yeah.
So that was the first purge. Then when it came to, as I said, I hadn't let go of the mental thing about holding on. I'd been well conditioned to hold on to things, hoarding, mm-hmm. in effect. Both my parents and my in-laws had grown up during and actually served during the war and had the post-war rationing in the UK. So they were very used to, I can stand in a queue, but I don't know whether I'll get what I want. It may not be there. So you got whatever you could and you held on to it. So that was the mindset I grew up with. So then when it came to leaving Australia, I had the 30 boxes and 10 years worth of accumulation.
Wow.
That was the biggest stretch of all, because I now had 6 weeks. Boom! Everything gone. I had a lot of very helpful friends.
Wow. That is truly amazing because, and you know, unfortunately, it does take something like losing somebody to force you to do something, right?
Yeah.
When my dad died, like I couldn't believe the amount of clothes that man had. I'm just like, I just like just thinking of this, and I was looking at their home, and there's still so much in it.
Hmm.
And I'm like, my mom's a hoarder. I swear to God, she's a hoarder, and there she lives in a 3-bedroom mobile home that
Okay.
is jam packed, like jam packed. Even there is even like well, we took the back porch and we converted it, and so made it so that it's sees like you could live in it.
Okay.
And that's back when we all lived there. And so she has basically essentially 4 rooms jam packed with the stuff. I'm like, Mom, if something happens to you, we have to go through all this. Like she has 2 rooms of nonstop what do you call that? Craft rooms. I'm just like, the amount of money that woman has spent on crafts is unreal. I mean, that's her money. It's her thing.
Yeah.
There's no judgment, but I'm like, I told I
Does
told
she
a friend,
use them all?
well, she says she does.
Okay.
That's what's mind blowing. That's what's mind blowing. And since my dad passed away, she'd taken the mud room, and made that like a beading room, and then she used my bedroom is her big craft room where that's where she does all her card baking and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
then the bedroom that my grandmother, because my grandmother lived with them for a little bit before long story there, before essentially she passed away,
Mhm.
or we moved her into a home. That room is for diamond painting. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it.
Whoa. Yeah. I mean, my mother-in-law made Fabergé style eggs, and she actually had an invitation to go to the Fabergé museum head office, wherever it was in St. Petersburg.
Mhm.
And she was really thrilled, but by this time she had developed motor neuron disease. I believe you call it ALS in the States. And so she couldn't go. But I can tell you, glitter got everywhere. When my father-in-law was in hospital having had a heart attack, blow me down, he's got his heart traces on. There's actually bits of glitter on his chest. And you get, how did that get here? So I can relate to the crafting thing.
Yeah, it's wild. It's truly wild. But I mean, it's something for her to do. I'm an hour away, so I can't be there every day.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so it keeps her busy. So that's the main thing. I mean, my
yeah.
mom's always been crafty. Funny enough, she makes beautiful cards, actually. Here's one here that she made for I do a golf tournament in my dad's honor every year.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
she makes these for me. And some of her cards have actually traveled all the way to the UK.
Uh-huh.
There's people that have bought them and sent them to their loved ones in the UK, Australia. She's freaking amazing at what she does. She's very talented.
Yes.
So, I mean, I get the benefits of it because I'll say, hey, Mom, I need like 20 Christmas cards. Can you make them for me? And so she does.
Have you picked up any of her crafty
Hell no.
characteristics?
No. I'm creative in other ways, like I write and things like that, and
Yeah,
have the show that's creative.
absolutely.
But yeah, no, I don't have the patience
Okay.
to sit there and do that. My mind races, and so I can't just do that.
You get bored easily.
Very, very.
Yes, yes. I can
It's
relate.
funny growing up. I don't know if people still do this, but there was a name for it. Oh God, where you take your pictures and you put them into scrapbooks, but it's not called scrapbooking; it's something else.
Collage?
No, but it
No?
is making collages.
Okay.
But you take your
Scrapbooking?
pictures. It could be scrapbooking. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what they did call it.
Mhm.
So you take your pictures and then you fancy it up. I
Yes.
used to do that. So that was my crafting because I love taking pictures, but I
Yes.
haven't done that since, oh my God. I don't even remember when the last time I did that.
Life happens, doesn't it? And then you move on to other things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when my husband was still alive, I used to cross stitch, and he would read to me while I was cross stitching. So if you know anything about 5 love languages, his love language was quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was specifically around words of affirmation and touch. So here I am stitching. He's talking to me. I've got my own personal Audible reading books to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so both of us had our tanks filled.
That is awesome.
I know. Thing is, I haven't touched any cross stitch since he passed, because that was something that I then associated with him. Right. So yeah, when I left Australia, there were a couple of unfinished projects, and I bought some of those bookmarks. You know, the cross stitch bookmarks. I don't know if you've ever seen them. Let me see if I can. Have I got one? Yeah.
Love it.
So I did that one. And so I'd still got a couple of unfinished ones, or not even opened ones. So when I was doing my major marketplace purge, I put up these unstarted kits. Mm-hmm. And this lady came around and went, "Oh, yes, yes, yes." I went, "Look, this is an unfinished one, and this is why." She said, "It would be an honor to finish it for you."
Aww.
She's never been in touch again, so I have no idea whether she's finished it or not, but it's now in somebody else's hands. So what I'm saying is, because that was associated with Jeff,
mm-hmm.
I haven't gone back to it. But like you, I love taking photos.
Oh yeah, I really, really, really want. I want a professional camera. I dated once upon a time a professional photographer, and he let me use his camera, and so we were out. There's this park. I don't know. I think it's called Rondo for those of you people that are local. And so he said, "Oh, let's just go take pictures of like butterflies and whatever one day." And so I got a picture of a butterfly in flight. He had never been able to do that. I got a picture of a Baltimore Oriole, and he had never been able to get a picture of that. And so I'm taking all these pictures, and he's looking at me and he goes, "I have never been able to do that." I said, like, beginner's luck. I still have the picture somewhere. I don't know where they're at, but I was just
this was with his DSLR?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do have a DSLR, but that's back in Perth, because I couldn't bring that in my 20 kilos. So I have to confess that whilst I'm snap happy, because one of the things that I'm doing at the moment is on my adventures with 20 kilos is I'm doing a daily reel on Insta. Mm. So that everybody can track where in the world I am and what I'm up to. So yesterday I posted day 600. So this is how long it is since I've been away. All my photos have come off my phone. And in fact, I don't know whether you can see that. That was one of the photos I took in Perth when I was back in July. Wow. It was dawn over the lake close to where I was staying. And it was just stunning. But I mean, phone cameras these days have incredible cameras. Yeah. Samsung are better than iPhones by all account. But that said, you can get some fantastic photos, and I have. I tell you what, another really good reflection one was. Have you heard of Siem Reap in Cambodia? No. It's Cambodia. That north part of Cambodia's got lots of old Buddhist temples, and most of them are ruined, but this one is phenomenal. And if you get there at 4:30 in the morning, you can watch the sun come up, and you can see it reflecting. The sun comes up behind the temple, and you get the reflection of the temple in the lake, and it was stunning. I mean, I wasn't the only one, I have to tell you. There were lots of people there with their big cameras and flash thing, and I'm there with my little iPhone and going, I'm actually quite chuffed with that one, thank you. Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome. Wow. I didn't realize we had that in common too. So that's
Isn't it wonderful? The more you start talking to somebody, the more you go, oh, connections. Yeah.
Yes. So you were working with people with speech, and you're traveling the world. Mm-hmm. And so now So you're putting those two worlds together, traveling the world, making your Instagram stories and things like that, showing people where you are, where you're at in your journey. And so, are you going to be taking a book too, like making a book of that, or is it
God, yes.
just
I mean, the first one, because originally the idea was My Life with 20 Kilos.
Right.
And that's the name of the YouTube. And there's a YouTube and a Facebook. They populate each other.
Right.
But then this was the first book that came out, From Hoarder to Hand Luggage.
Okay.
And that was basically me heading off into the sunrise in Perth last year. And yes, I did have longer hair at that time. Because when last year, November time, I started running my Promise to Page group, which is a group for no more than 4 people, where they get the ideas from the promise they've made themselves or to other people, something on paper. It's a month by month program. You don't need to sign up for years and years and years. You come in and go as you need to. But in that time, I was also, alongside the other authors who were working with me, I was working on my book, and they were going, Wendy, there's far too much information for one book. You're going to have to split it up. So that's when Letting Go, Living Lighter, the name of the series, came about. And The Hoarder chronicles what I've basically told you about the fact that I grew up in a family of hoarders, married into a family of hoarders, had to let go of everything. So that's up until I left Perth. The 5th book in the series, which I wasn't intending to write until one of the girls in this group said, you have friends all over the world. How do you do it? And so I get by with a lot of help from my friends.
Yeah.
Was published on Kindle at the beginning of October, and I'm launching the paperback this month.
Wow.
It's called I Get By with a Lot of Help from My Friends.
I love that. I love that. It sounds like a song.
Well, that's exactly why I've borrowed from the Beatles. Not they get by with a little help from my friends. I get by with a lot of help from my friends. Because here I am at 60, solo running around the world. And I could not do it without the people who support me.
Exactly. Wow. That is so amazing. That's truly inspiring. So if anybody's listening right now that's saying, I'm too old, I can't do that. You know, you have this dream and the desire burning inside of you to travel the world or to write a book or to be on stage somewhere. No matter how old you are, you're never too old to do something. I mean, look at Ray Kroc. How old was he when he started his journey? Or Colonel Sanders?
Colonel Sanders is the one that everybody trots out, isn't it? Because I mean, he was he 86 or something? Something like that. Yes.
I was just, and now it's like fried chicken all around the world. That's global. They even have KFC over in Singapore. Yes. I mean, for God's sake. So yes. I mean, and so there's no excuse for us just to stay where we're at in life. I mean, Wendy, your story is truly inspiring because, you know, and to take what happened with your job and to not let that define you. I know a lot of people that would just have given up and just said, you know, well, you know, not sure what to do next.
Well, can I also add to that my permanent residency visa was attached to that job. So I could not go and work for anyone else until that 2-year period was up. Otherwise, I would have been deported.
Right.
It was a very big deal.
Wow.
But we got through it. And I'm now an Australian citizen as well. So nobody can kick me out unless I've done something very bad.
What does it take to become an Australian citizen? I want to move to Australia.
Quite a few hoops. I mean, the reason I backtrack for a little bit of interesting information. Australia is very tight with its immigration. And so you have to have, in order to get into Australia, you have to tick so many boxes. It needs to be a profession that they want, I went in as a speech pathologist on a sponsored migration visa. So it was a 457. You don't need to worry about that. But the point was that was only eligible for 2 years. Now, I could have renewed it as a rolling 457, or I could apply for permanent residency. Now, this was 7 years ago, 7 years ago. And the immigration rules changed with the Prime Minister, and we went through 5 of them in 3 years. So it was hard to keep hold of what was going on. Right. But in the end, after 2 years on my 457 visa, I could apply for permanent residency as long as I was under 50 or I had a shed load of money in the bank. It was 8 weeks past my 50th birthday. So I went to the company and said, would you sponsor my 457? And they said, yes. The bit in between is a power play, and I won't go into that. But yes, so that's how I got to Australia. But yes, you do have, and then of course I had to have a medical and a citizenship test. I had to learn all of this stuff and then be tested on it. Did I know about Australia?
Okay, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
And just as somebody who lives in a country where there is every ethnicity here, I get that.
Yes.
And one of the biggest problems Canadians have is everybody immigrates here, but then they want us to adapt to their way of being, right? And people don't learn, like none of my American friends even realize that we have different holidays. Like our Thanksgiving is not the same.
Thanksgiving's October, isn't it?
Right. It's not the same Thanksgiving. Yes, Christmas is this universal. Mm-hmm. We have Remembrance Day. They have Veterans Day, right? And I know all these holidays, but not one of my American friends, and I have quite a few of them, even realize that Canada is different. So I really like the fact that Australia makes you take a test about their country, because you shouldn't have to. They should not have to adapt as a country to your way of being. Like if you want to be in that country, you adapt to their way of being.
Yes. You need to know
somebody has they've taken different things out of the schooling, to adapt to everybody. We accept everybody. Well, yes. We can accept everybody and not be to the detriment of our own country is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
People want freedom. Freedom's not free. There is a price. And so, suck it up or not. But if you come here, this is how it is. And I love that Australia does that.
Yes. I mean, within that, that's to give you your passport. So you become a citizen, you have to take the Pledge of Allegiance or whatever it's called. And then they will give you the right to go and buy your passport. Now, that was a big deal. So now when people say, oh, where are you from? I go, hang on, which passport am I in on? I'm Australian today. Or I'm a Brit, because I got both. So that's the fun. But to your point about the citizenship test, there are an awful lot of native Aussies who couldn't answer the questions on the test.
No doubt.
I mean, I was going through the curriculum, I was posting about this, and somebody went, I didn't know that. Like, why are the national colours of Australia green and yellow? It's for the wattle. The what? The bright yellow wattle, which is the one of the trees that is everywhere in Australia. Mm-hmm. It's actually one of the ones that gives a lot of people hay fever. But it's one of the winter flowering trees. So it's bright yellow against the green of the foliage. So, yeah.
I love that. Kudos to you, Australia. That's funny. All right. So here you are traveling the world. You're writing your story. You're inspiring the world, saying, hey, if I can do this at 60, you can do it no matter where you're at in life. And now you said you're also helping people to be on stages too. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us a bit
one of the roles I had in Perth was I was head speaker coach for TEDx University of Western Australia for 5 years. So actually they headhunted me, which was lovely. My point from that is that I can work with speakers to that level. So I work with, Some of the authors that I'm working with have gone, well, I've written my book. Yes. And what do you expect is going to happen? You got to tell people about it. And that's when the realization goes, oh, you need me to speak about it. Yes, I do need you to speak about it. An awful lot of the authors, like you were saying, in terms of the whole premise of this show is mess to message. A lot of the authors have gone through some pretty traumatic stuff. And the writing of it has been quite cathartic, but they don't want to stay there. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to revisit it.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel I have a duty of care to be able to support speakers to go, this is how we can language it. Can I give you an example on that one?
Sure.
Yep. One of my earliest memory is of double doors closing with this 2-year-old on one side and my mother on the other. I was in hospital back in the 60s. Parents were not allowed to stay in hospital with their children. Now, the first time I was telling this story, I was saying I was on the other side of the doors. I was yelling and screaming. I felt awful. Now, that meant I was reliving it as a 2-year-old, experiencing that abandonment from my mother.
Right.
I know as an adult, she must have been on the other side absolutely dying inside because she couldn't go to her baby.
Mm-hmm.
But I was explaining it as I was this 2-year-old. Now, if you remember the way I said it when I was talking about this, can you imagine a 2-year-old on one side of the room? So this is why I'm saying you can language it so that you can still engage the audience with putting yourself in the position of that 2-year-old without you getting stuck in it, re-traumatizing yourself, because no speaker wants to go there again. That's the whole point. You've moved past it. So we're speaking from scars, not wounds.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm very keen that I have a duty of care with my speakers, that let's do it in a way that you can still bring your audience along. You don't get stuck in the miry mud, and neither do they.
Yeah, I love that. And I don't know about you, but for me, like I wrote my book, I think 4 years ago. And so for me, I was talking about my life. There's been a lot that had gone in my life, like a lot of past traumas, if you will. And for me, it felt cathartic to get it out, right?
Yes.
I had kept journals through this time in my life. And so, you know, I talked about the abusive relationships that I was in and things like that, and losing an uncle to suicide. And I know what it's like to feel that and to experience that. And for me, putting it on paper was cathartic, and other people, it would be triggering. And so allowing yourself to heal maybe first before you start the process, especially if it's one of those memoirs or something like that, I think is key. And, you know, and that's what we share. That's why I started this network, was because I wanted people to, sometimes it feels alone when you're going through things and you think you're by yourself, right?
Yes.
But what you really realize is you're not by yourself. You're not, your people are there that have done the same, that have gone through the same thing. But you want to feel like there's somebody there that can connect with you. And that's why we started this journey, was so that these people realize, hey, you know, me too, I done that. And you know what, here's how I went through it. And this might help you or it might not, because what I did might not be what you could do. You know, and people ask, like, how did you get all through that? One foot in front of the other. That's all I knew.
Yes, well, exactly. But actually having I've traveled, as you can hear, I've traveled quite a long way, and it's not just this side of the world. Australia, Southeast Asia. I'm going through Central America later on this year into next year. The same experiences come up time and again. The same skeletons, if you will. We just wear different clothes.
Yep.
So the same experiences are happening in Canada, the States, Cambodia, Australia. They look different, but the same real deep down human experience is happening.
Yeah. So
anybody can go, look, this is okay. It might not look the same to you, but actually the underlying problem was, this was how I dealt with it. Let me show you how I dealt with it. As you say, I'm not saying that this way's right for you, but you can see there is light at the end of the tunnel. It is possible to get somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny because I've been getting some talks ready to speak at a university, and I was reminded of different things as I'm putting my talk together, and I'm just like, oh, this happened and this happened, and realizing that I'm like, and no one's special. Everybody's gone through it, but identifying with other things, and it just brings you back to those times of like, oh, I was here and now I'm here. And so it's just really, really cathartic, I guess you could say, even to go back and get that together. There was something more there, and I can't remember what my point was, so pardon me. I just, it went with the wind. Thank you, menopause.
Oh yes, I know that one. The book group that I was working with, one of them knew that I had been a speech pathologist in a previous existence, and she said, "Wendy, you're not writing clinical notes. Give us some emotion," because I had put to one side all of those. I don't want to feel this. Thank you. And so I really had to dig in and revisit those emotions and let them go. It was Kleenex Central all over again. My point to pick up on yours, though, is also the catharsis going on there. Because now I can look back and see how those emotions that I had boxed away for later, thank you, but because I hadn't dealt with them, they were eating away at me. And now, having dealt with them, hello, book number 1. Book number 5 is out, and I will fill in the 3 in between next year. So yes, it really is a case of, I don't know if you knew the band Take That back in the 90s. It was a British band. Anyway, one of their big songs was Never Forget Where You're Coming From. And that is so important. You don't stay there. You recognize where you've come from, and you go, wow.
Yeah. Amen to that. Like, and healing, like you said, is like an onion. Just when you think you thought you got rid of it, there's something that's going to come back.
Yes.
And but I don't know about you. When it comes back, I'm not in it as long. Like, I can get myself out of it a lot quicker.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a deeper level that you're dealing with, because you're in a better position to deal with the deeper level. They'll only the emotions will come up to the level that you can handle at any one time.
Yeah. I love that you said that, because I was so emotionally closed off. I didn't even think I had a heart. I thought that, I didn't even realize I had done it. I didn't even realize that my heart felt frozen. Until after I left my abusive relationship and took a healing journey before I found my husband. And so it was just like, I didn't allow myself to feel. I didn't allow no emotion. I just went through life as like a freaking bulldozer. And then I'm just like, oh, and now here I am. The emotions bubbling up. I feel like a volcano, and I feel like I'm ready to explode. And then the valve released. And you know how you can't send things keep coming around? Well, if you don't learn your lesson the first time, it's going to come around and you'll learn it eventually. So you may as well just deal with it the first time, folks.
Yes. But when it does come around, it'll be at a deeper level. To your point about expressing emotions, my father had been in hospital in the UK. He'd been there for a week. She didn't want to disturb me. She didn't want to worry me. But eventually she said, your dad's in hospital. So I did a mercy dash back to the UK. And long story short, he finally came home and he had a seizure. So because he was desperately dehydrated. And so after he was coming around, I'd seen them in my clinical work. So it wasn't a big deal for me, but Mum was a little bit freaked by this. So as we as we hugged that night, I said, you know, you are allowed to acknowledge that you were worried you were going to lose him tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You can cry, you know. And she went, no, I can't. What do you mean? If I let this go, she said, I don't know where it'll stop. Now that hit me hard, because there she was at 85, and it reminded me, I don't think I had ever seen my mother cry.
Wow.
She was throwing off TIAs, transient ischemic attacks.
Mm-hmm.
And the big one came, that was September. The big one came in February, hemorrhagic stroke. So she hadn't let the valve go properly. And in the end, the volcano just blew.
Wow. Wow. I get it. As somebody who used to live reactively, I very seldom do that now.
Yeah.
Well, backtrack. Menopause has come into my life, so there's a couple times that happens, but like situations that would have thrown me off, like put me into a tailspin, no longer have that power over me.
Good job.
So there is hey, at any age people can heal. Let's just put it that way.
Yes.
But wow, Wendy, this has been so rich, and I know that we got to wrap this up here.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yep, go ahead.
Talk.
No, that's okay. We might have to have you come back later on here.
Me too.
Because I this has just been so rich. And so where can people get a hold of you? Where's the best place?
Probably if you're on LinkedIn, you can get hold of me on LinkedIn. Otherwise, Facebook or Instagram. I have a personal Facebook page, Wendy Corner. I have the Instagram where you can keep up with what I'm up to. I've got two channels. There's the My Life with 20 Kilos, that's KGS. I know in Canada you're thinking kilos, which is helpful. The professional one is wendy.in.your.corner. With a name like mine, you're not going to let that one go, are you? So that's the Insta one. So you can grab me on the socials. I'm on Threads as well, pretty much. Mm. Oh, and I do have a YouTube channel, because I have a weekly podcast from page to stage. Nice. And I interview authors. So if any of
that's awesome.
Your audience says, oh, I've got a book out, let's have you in front of a group of entrepreneurs who are thinking, can I write my book? Let's be inspirational.
Well, maybe I'll have to be on your show. That would be awesome.
Absolutely, you have. I mean, I think I've extended the invitation already, but let's get you in definitely.
I don't remember, but in my world, everything happened. Like a lot of stuff happened, so I get you. But thank you so much for coming on. I just want to give a shout out. This episode was sponsored by Cast Magic. If you have a podcast, or if you are a coach and you do not have Cast Magic at your fingertips, you are missing out, folks. Let me tell you, Cast Magic has helped me take my show notes to a whole new level. And I didn't have to do a whole lot of work. Just upload the video and it does it all for me. It's magic. So check it out. Coaches too, it takes your training platforms and gives it makes whole courses for you and things like that. It's the power of Cast Magic is there for you. So please go check it out. I will also put the referral link in the show notes as well. And for anybody else that wants to sponsor a show, please let us know. We'd be happy to have you on here, as long as it's making positive impact in the world, you wanting to get your name out there in front of more people. Definitely connect with me today. And thank you again, Wendy, so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It has been an absolute pleasure getting to know you. And remember, guys, same time, same channel next week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.